These two Trek Madones are $1,000 and 3 years apart. Let's take a closer look to see what's actually the difference. So this Trek Madone that we have here is a 2017 model. It's a Trek Madone SLR9. The SLR means that it's the top level frame from Trek. They also do a slightly cheaper one called the SL frame. And the 9 means that it's the Durace DR2 version. It's the top of the line. It's the absolute bee's knees. It's as good as a bike that Trek could make in 2017. And it's got upgraded NV wheels, which are arguably the fanciest wheel out there. So this bike has all the bling. It's like the best thing money could buy in 2017. Other brands could try and make their coolest bike, but this is the coolest bike out there. Admittedly, I am biased because I actually used to have this bike. I'll put a photo up on the screen as well. Mine was blue, and it's the one that got away, the one that I shouldn't have sold. But most notably, especially in this video, is this bike is a rim brake model. So that's what we typically saw pre sort of 2018 is when some brands started bringing out disc brakes. So the rim brake version is the thing that people either love or don't love about this type of bike. However, if we move across to this bike over here, it's very similar. It's also the Trek Madone SLR, which is the top level frame, but this is the SLR 7. So the 7, which is a level below the 9, comes with the Ultegra Di2 gearing. So it still has the electric gears. It still has the same number of gears, 2 at the front and 11 at the back, but we're looking at the Ultegra level rather than the Durace level. Otherwise, very similar, except this one has disc brakes because it's the newer style. This is the 2020 model, so it's 3 years newer than the red one we were looking at before. Also, it's got a Project One colorway, so it's a custom paint job done in America, and it's got a couple of little upgrades. Most notably, it's got the power meter crankset, and it's got the ceramic oversized jockey wheels as well. So if you can't tell already, what I'm saying here is these two bikes are very similar. They're very comparable. There's not a huge difference between the two of them, but the things that are different will sometimes divide the audience. So let's have a closer look. So if we're working our way front to back on these two bikes, the first thing I would say is they both actually have carbon fiber wheels. So they've both got good quality, strong wheels. This one over here, the newer Trek Madone, has the Bontrager, I think they are maybe XXX6 wheels, maybe. I'll double check that number in a sec. So it has the top of the line wheels that Bontrager make. This one here has the NV, I don't know if they're 3.4s or 4.5s, but it has some high-end NV wheels with the DT Swiss 240 hub, which in my opinion is about as good as a wheel can get on a bike. So they are a lovely wheel. They roll wheelie well. But interesting fact, the Bontrager wheels, because I used to work at a Trek dealer, I know this, the Bontrager wheels actually use the same internals as the DT Swiss. So although this has the red sticker on it that makes it the fancy version, the DT Swiss 240 hub, it's actually not too dissimilar to what you'll find in the Bontrager wheels. A difference that I can see between these two bikes is the tires. This is kind of a non-variable really because you can change tires, but this one has the 28mm tires. Pretty common to be on the disc brake bikes because now there's a bit more space that you can fit the larger tire. It happens to be the Continental Grand Prix tires, the 28mm, whereas this one has the brand new Schwalbe 1 tires in a 25mm. So a tiny bit narrower, pretty common you'd find on a rim brake bike. I'm not going to say this is a good thing or a bad thing, it's just a thing, but there is a difference. They just have two slightly different tires. As we work our way back from the front, we can look at the handlebars and the cockpit. These two both actually have the integrated one-piece handlebar, which means that the cables are going from the shifters and the brake levers inside the handlebar, inside the stem, and then down through the frame on both bikes here as well. So they're also quite comparable. Admittedly, on the newer style of Trek Madones, you're able to replace the handlebar and replace the stem. So if you wanted to go to a longer stem or a narrower handlebar or whatever it is you need to do, you can do it. It's a bit of a task for a mechanic to do it, but you can do it. Whereas with the previous generation, these ones over here, you didn't quite have that luxury. You had to replace the whole thing. So you might pay $1,200 to get a new handlebar, but handlebar and stem. Whereas on this one, you could split it and you could get just one or just the other. Again, not a good thing or a bad thing, just a thing. Working our way even further back, we get to the actual frame. This one here, being the 2017 model, comes with the OCLV 600 carbon, which in 2017 was the top grade of carbon that Trek made. Whereas now in 2020, they've made the OCLV 700 carbon. To be honest, I don't think the difference is really worth noting here, but there's a sticker on the frame that says that that's the newer one, so I'll mention it anyway. it's probably about a fingernail lighter. Working our way further back, we'll get to the actual drivetrain. This one here has the 11-speed Dura-Ace Di2. For what it's worth, it's 9150 because it's rim brake and Di2. Anyway, it's the 9100 series, and this one here is the Ultegra Di2, the 11-speed. It's the R8000 series as well. So the same generation of group set. They both have 2 chainrings at the front. They both have 11 cogs at the back, but this one is the Dura-Ace, so it's got a bit more titanium in it, whereas the Ultegra might have a bit more aluminium in it. This one has the upgraded jockey wheels as well. So if we look at that rear derailleur, you can see those red jockey wheels right down there. They're oversized, which means that the chain doesn't have to bend as much, which just helps you save a couple of watts. It's a nice upgrade that people like to do. It's like a $700 or $800 upgrade, so it's a pretty fair upgrade actually. So another difference we can say, this one is an 11 and 28 cassette. That means that the hardest cog is 11 teeth and the easiest one, the biggest one, is 28, whereas this one is a 30 tooth. So tiny bit easier to get up those steeper hills. So they are also both 52-36 chainrings on the front. So they're the exact same ratio on the front, but at the rear gears with the rear cogs, the cassette, you've got slightly easier gearing on this one. Again, if I'm being honest, we're splitting hairs here. They're both very, very, very similar, except it's just a bit of an age difference between the two. Even if we were to get really nitty gritty with it, I can start talking about the saddles. They both have the Bontrager Aeolus saddle, same saddle, but this one here is the Bontrager Aeolus Elite saddle, which comes with aluminium rails, whereas when we look at this one over here, it's the Pro level, so it's got the carbon fiber rails. A little bit lighter, a little bit stiffer, a little bit more expensive, but they're both honestly gonna feel exactly the same under your bum because they are both the Bontrager Aeolus saddle. So we're really splitting hairs here. I'm trying to find a difference between the two of them that isn't the obvious one about the brakes. Since we're really trying to find a difference, I can say that on this one here, because it's the Di2, the electric gear bike, we've got buttons here and wires that go through here. And this particular owner has actually done the upgrade to get blips on there. So he's put these sprint shifters in underneath here. So as he's pedaling along and his hands are up here, he can press this button here and it can change the gears at the back. So he doesn't even have to take his hand off to then change gear and then come back. He can just stay in a nice comfortable spot. I don't know exactly off the top of my head how much they cost, but they'd be at least a few $100s. So that's a nice tasteful upgrade that he's done. With all this being said, let's just get to the elephant in the room, which is clearly the fact that the word Trek is bigger on this one. The actual logo is larger on this one, and this one's smaller. So if we're talking the cost per surface area of the logo, this one is better, probably. I just made that up right now. It's probably not true. I could get my calculator out if we actually care, but I don't think we really do care. It's just that that one has a larger logo and that one has a smaller logo. And you know, the size of, it's not about the size of the logo. Shut up, Lewis. Jokes aside, there is a bit of a difference between these two. We're talking about the braking system. This one here has the rim brakes and this one here has the disc brakes. I'm not gonna say that one's necessarily better than the other, but if you want my opinion about the difference between the disc brake and the rim brake, we've actually done a video further back on our YouTube channel. I think you might be surprised with the result, but I'm sure there's plenty of people watching this video that will happily put their opinion in the comment section below as well, and I welcome it. But I don't think that one is necessarily better than the other. It's just a personal preference thing. You could argue that this one might be a little bit more lightweight, whereas this one might stop a little bit faster, and this one might be easier to work on at home, but this one might be safer to ride in the rain. But now I'm just coming up with ideas off the top of my head in case that's not obvious. Point I'm getting at is that there's pros and cons both ways. They're both pretty good. They both serve their own target audience, their own market. So I'm not gonna say that one of these bikes is better than the other because I think they are both great. And my opinion would be biased because I used to have this bike in blue. So I think that's the best bike that was ever made. I literally had mine sent to America and it was custom painted blue and I got it signed by the artist. That's how much of a fan I am of this type of bike, specifically the 2017 Trek Madone. So without further ado, let's put these bikes onto the scales and weigh them because I think that'll be an interesting point. All right, 0, cool. 7.32, and this one, 8.6. Wow, kilo, 1,300 grams. That's actually a lot more than I would have thought. I wonder what else could be causing that. It's got the Ultegra gears rather than the Dura-Ace gears. It's got the Envy wheels, the super high-end ones, and it's the rim brake. It's got the more expensive saddle with the carbon rails. Interesting. Honestly, I thought they were going to be a little bit closer than that. I expected this one to be lighter, but I didn't think it was going to be 1,300 grams lighter, over a kilo lighter. All right, I'm going to chuck my helmet on. Let's do a quick car park test. And now we're out here in the car park. We're going to try these two different bikes back to back. We're not going to do a braking test here because we've done one further back in our YouTube channel where we compared disc brakes and rim brakes. So if you want to know a little bit more, check out our YouTube channel further back. So in this part of the video, all I'm really going to do is just pedal around and just see what I feel between the two different bikes. And give it a try. Oh, that was a bit silly, but here we are. I can definitely feel the big comfortable tires, but I'm just going to do another lap as well. The handlebars are quite wide. I think the person that had this bike before must have been a taller guy because the handlebars are quite wide. There might be like a 44. The tires, that was a big thing that I noticed. It's definitely got big, comfortable tires, the big 28s. Tire pressure might be kind of low, but felt like a bike. Sounded pretty nice too. I'm gonna try the other one. I'm gonna give this one a try. Same deal. I'm not looking for anything in particular. I'm just gonna see how it feels. Handlebars actually feel similar width. I feel taller, like I'm higher off the ground. I'm gonna do another lap and see what else I can find. I think the tire pressure might be harder on this, so it feels a little bit more rigid, a bit more solid. It feels like if I was standing up and sprinting into the finish line, it would feel like more responsive and solid. Yeah, I'm gonna try it again, see what else I find. Yeah, the handlebars definitely feel taller, and that might be because this is the 58 centimeter. One was a 56. Oh, and it just, oh, it sounds good. It sounds like how an Envy should. To be honest, it felt very similar. This one felt a little bit more like solid and like responsive. And it's probably because that one's got the bigger tires on it and it might be a lower tire pressure. Braking felt, you know, similar, but I didn't really do any hard brakes in the car park here. Yeah, they kind of felt similar. I think the head tube on this one might be a little bit taller because this is the 58 centimeter and that's the 56. So it felt like a little bit more upright. Even just having a look, the drop from the saddle down to the handlebar looks kind of similar between the two, I think. Oh, there you go, the handlebars on the white one are a little bit lower. So maybe that was why they felt lower. To be honest, much of a muchness. I couldn't say that one's better than the other because they both felt quite similar. Let's go inside and discuss. All right, so now we're back inside, and with everything summed up in this video, all the comparisons that we've done between these two bikes, I can already hear you asking, but Lewis, which one should I buy? Well, if I'm gonna be pretty frank, I'm not gonna try and steer you one way or the other because I think they're both great options. I used to have this one and I wanted this one as well. So they're both pretty awesome bikes. So let's just go back to the elephant in the room, and the thing that should make your decision is this one is red and white and this one is white and red. Do you want a red and white bike or do you want a white and red bike? That's the answer as to which bike you should go for. To be honest, they're very similar, so they're both great options. Hopefully this video helps you decide which one of these two bikes you want to buy when you come in store here at Recycle Bicycle Sales. And even if it's not one of these two bikes, we have an entire room full of bikes. So I'm sure we've got something else that will tickle your fancy. I'm just gonna say thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you reckon there's anything that we should have mentioned, or maybe something that you know about the difference between these two, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'm gonna say thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video. See you guys.